Alrighty guys, it is time to mount the engine in this mower. So I'm going to go ahead and test fit the radiator and the hood, see how much space we have to work with, and then we'll figure out how to mount that 600cc Polaris triple two-stroke engine, so stay tuned. So this is the coolant radiator I'm going to be running. Here in the summer it gets 90 degrees, so we want the biggest radiator we can fit in here. Wow guys, just check that out. That's a perfect fit. The engine looks really nice in there, and even the hood clears. Man, that looks beautiful, guys. Okay guys, so we got the engine mount holes drilled. Originally I was going to use something like that. This is what came with the stock snowmobile motor, but they're just too bulky, so the engine will be sitting on rubber isolators or bushings. I was told you don't want to hard mount this engine. So right now these engine mounts are tacked in. I'm going to go ahead and weld them just a little bit. Now that I got the engine mount situated, it is time to work on the front suspension. So I got to figure out how to mount this top A-arm. And also, as you can see, these bottom arms are really weak. For what I want to do with this thing off-road, I think that's just going to be too weak. So I'm going to cut out a little triangle. So guys, I went ahead and made these plates that are going to reinforce the bottom of the A-arms. These are going to be dimple dyed. Lucky for us, Rogue Fabrication sent me a bunch of their dimple dyes, and they also sent me a press for the dimple dyes. So big shout out to Rogue Fabrication. They're a company based here in the United States. It's really awesome to see them supporting small YouTubers like myself. But yeah, let's go ahead and dimple dye these triangles. Let's see, we're going to need 3/4 inch and then 1 1/4. So the bottom ones are done. I really love how that turned out. The reason why I reinforced these in the first place is because I don't want to be casually cruising and then just hit a log and have these bent out of shape. So that's really why I welded those on. I really wanted to use these upper A-arms. I think they just look really nice, but we won't be able to make them work. For one, it's going to hit the boot right there, and two, this section of the frame isn't straight, so the mounts are just going to be really tricky to do. So I think I'm just going to cut these right here and make my own A-arms out of heim joints, and that way I can also dial in my camber. Okay guys, so I got these upper ball joint inserts prepped. So I made it to where you could just slide a 1-inch tube over these stickouts and then just weld it. I'm not even gonna have to put any bends in this. So there's the upper A-arm. I'm really happy with how it turned out. I'm gonna go ahead and tack this in and make sure there's no suspension binding and make sure everything travels really nice. Okay, no binding, so that's good. 4.5 all the way to 16, so that's 12 inches of travel. Dang, that's crazy. It doesn't necessarily mean we're gonna use all 12 inches, but we're probably only gonna use like 5 or 6, about this much, because I don't want this thing to be too high.
Later that same evening.
Unfortunately guys, I just got played by Yamaha. It turns out that the upper ball joints are not actually replaceable. So I tried knocking them out and it turns out that they're welded into the A-arm. So you pretty much have to replace the whole upper A-arm just to replace the ball joints. So I look at parts diagrams, I go to eBay, and there is not a single upper ball joint. I'm really glad I only did one of the A-arms and not two. I don't want to use heim joints on this because I would have to drill out the spindle and weaken it. Luckily, it turns out that there's actually a Chinese copy of the Yamaha Grizzly Quad, and I was able to source some A-arms for only $30. And those A-arms have removable ball joints, so I ordered the A-arms and they're 3 days away. So in the meantime, I'm going to get that Polaris 600 engine running. The guy who sent me the engine, Caleb, he said it's perfectly fine. It doesn't really need anything. So yeah, I'm going to go ahead and grab that engine and we'll get it running. Dang, that is a tight fit. Holy crap, is that a lot of pipes, guys. Wow. We could go to a single pipe if we wanted to. We would just have to switch to a 680 cylinders. So now I have to hook up the wiring. Luckily it's all labeled, so thank you, Caleb. Hey guys, I've got everything hooked up. The only thing that's not hooked up is the coolant and then the oil pump. but we're only going to be running it for a very brief time. So, yeah. Hey guys, looks like the fuel pump, I forgot to connect it. And it looks like one of the carburetor needles fell out during shipping and I didn't catch it. But it's all good, we got all that back in. So let's go ahead and go for round 2. Okay, I think that's enough. The engine runs. I am happy. The reason why it's running a little bit rough is because it needs to warm up first. We don't have no coolant and no mufflers, so it's going to run a little bit rough, but once we get all that sorted out, it should run really nice. Well guys, that's all I had in store for this episode. We're getting very close to a rolling chassis. Hopefully it should be a rolling chassis in the next part. As you guys seen, I'm waiting on the upper A-arms, which that was an unfortunate setback. But it is what it is, and then I'm waiting on some drive shaft parts, some belt parts for this CVT system. So now that we got the engine running, we can focus on other things in the next episode. So guys, consider subscribing if you're new, and hit that like button if you enjoyed the video. And again, I gotta thank you guys for the support. If you have any suggestions, leave them down in the comments. But yeah guys, I've been working on a few things in the background. Try to bring you guys more content, so stay tuned for that. It is actually getting colder here and it's getting darker faster. That's not a big deal for me. But I have to catch you guys in the next video. Stay tuned. Peace and God bless.